Hi, I'm Kathy Dodson.
And I'm Jocelyn Lindsay. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Indie Insights, where we're giving you publishing tips and tricks in mostly 5 minutes, because 5 minutes is long enough to learn and short enough to not regret it. Okay. So today we're going to talk about animals and covers, because a lot of people think you just slap a dog on the cover of your book and watch the magic happen. Pardon. We're going to dig into why animals move books and how to use that power wisely.
So, first off, they really do work. Like, try and find cozy mystery covers without either a baked good or an animal on it. And many of them have animals. And there's this one series that does really well in a particular genre that's kind of oh, not really a police procedural, but a detective genre. And he has a dog, and his dog is on every cover, and these books do amazingly well. I mean, amazingly well. And then, they're not the best books in the world, which there's a lot of them, and that dog is in every single one of them, and people love them.
A cat's on the front of witchy books. Come see witchy books. How many cat detective stories do we see with cats on the covers? And so I think what's really important about this is animals for us trigger emotion. They trigger emotion and connection. And so when you throw a dog on the cover of a mystery or a cat into a cozy book, readers there's an immediate trigger for an emotion for that animal.
Right. And you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen, right? You're getting not even a sweet book, but a book that's not going to be terrible things aren't going to happen to the animals. It's going to be kind of cute because the animals are kind of cute. In fact, that's another thing. The cuter the animal, the sweeter the book, right? Because Cujo is not, he's not. And I don't actually know that he sold a lot of books, that dog, but they're it really does make a difference. And you'll find that the authors use these animals very heavily in their social media and in their marketing because it's for the animals that are doing a lot of the work there.
I think one of the keys to this is animals draw readers in, but they have to matter to the story. There has to be a place for them in the story. It can't just be my book is a thriller about finding a serial killer. Oh, here's a cute Siamese cat on the cover.
Right.
I it's because
Yeah, you want to make a bunch of authors mad, you pull that trick.
exactly. I mean, yeah, you don't want that. And for me, I as a movie watcher, I'm always suspicious about like movies with animals because I think animals can also turn into I call it emotional blackmail because I care more about the animal than the characters in the movie or the story. And then you get that they really want you to care, and then they've killed the animal.
Okay, yeah.
The book.
We're old enough to print off with old down
Oh my God,
yeah. Oh my God.
We are of the Gen X generation where YA at our time was anything with an animal in it, something terrible happens to that animal. To teach
My friends like us.
Right, to teach the protagonist a lesson, right? To teach the protagonist or a character how to be emotionally connected. And so there's a website called doesthedogdie.com. And I used it to go find and see, does the animal die in the story? So they are a huge emotional connection and trigger for readers.
And I think, yeah, we're seeing something also that has really changed since I was young, which is that the animal are solving crimes. They're doing things that help people, especially in the cozy mysteries or the police procedurals, solve actual crimes, which is kind of funny. It harkens back to Lassie, but it's more than that. They're like, they are a character in the story in many times.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's an author who I love, but part of her messaging is the dog never dies, the bad guys do. That is the promise that author makes in that entire 20 plus book series is that this dog is a character, this dog is in every book, and this dog, this dog may get hurt, but this dog is never ever gonna die. So yeah, it's like, and I think that that emotional connection, it is a huge piece of power as an author that you have with automatically.
Yeah. And, they happen other places too. Well, actually, it's the same thing. People are animals. You see a shirtless guy on the cover, that is going to do up there, not the right? Basically, same type of thing, right?
Yeah, it's an emotional trigger.
But be careful about going down that path, because then you get into the animal human crosses, and that's a whole area of the ransom about being explore.
Well, we
care.
could go into like werewolf. We could totally go into this, but yes. Well, and what's interesting about that is wolves on the cover are a different emotional trigger in a different genre than a fuzzy, poodle on a
Yeah.
cover in a totally different genre. So it's interesting to think that different genres have different animals connected to them.
Absolutely. But this is what we talked about before with make your cover work for you. And it's not about what you want, it's about what your reader wants.
Exactly. So on that note, I have new fuzzy kittens. So I have emotional triggers to these new fuzzy kittens, but I'm not gonna. They would not fit on the covers of any of my books. So thank you for watching us for our few minutes here. And if you have animals on your covers, let us know. We'd love to know what books are out there and who's using animals on their covers or using that kind of trigger, that immediate emotional connection on their cover. In the meantime, we are going to go keep writing our books because we have books that we need to get finished writing and we have books to get out. So have a wonderful week and we'll see you on our next episode. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.